Good morning, Realtor Avery.
Good morning, Aranda Koychak.
Welcome, everybody, to December 4th, Christmas. What do you want for Christmas show?
Yes. Or for any holiday that you celebrate.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're better than me.
Stop it. That
No,
was rude.
you're right. You are right. It's no, it is a celebration. We're really thinking about we're thinking about realtors.
Right.
And we're thinking about the future realtors. We're thinking about, we're thinking about our current realtors like you and I and everyone we work with. And then we're also thinking about the future realtors.
Right.
And we're thinking about, hey, at Christmas, how can you what can you do this season? How can you maybe make an ask? And I want to remind everybody that that's totally cool to ask, make the ask, because somebody wants to do something nice for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, what should I do? What? I don't know. What should I do? And you're like, you know what? I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. Like a little Visa gift card to help pay for that would be awesome. And they go, oh, I could do that for you. And you say,
Yes.
Yes.
Think about like the pre-licensing courses, and many of the schools will have savings or Groupons, or so even just to say, hey, I'm going to go online, I'm going to make your account and pay for your course, right? That would be so cool. We have
100%.
right? We think about, okay, now's the time, right? New year, new career, all those things we talk about in January. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting into real estate, now's the time to schedule that course to start on it, right? And even if it's a matter of, like, most of the schools will have, well, everything in life right now, you have packages, right? Just the course, the course and review prep, the course and follow up, right? So maybe you say, hey, instead of getting the basic, maybe I'll get the middle one if someone wants to, help me with it. I think it's also the time of year. It was funny. I was with my kids, right? They ask, say, hey, what do you want for the holidays? What do you want for a gift? I have one child with a November birthday, and that's always tough because it's like, okay, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for the next holiday? What's going on? And, and they ask me, what do you want? I'm like, you know what I need? I need a new light. My ring light broke. I need a new light, and, different things that we use for this show like this.
Yep.
I said, and one of my kids is very techie and very so it's like, okay. And they also like having the research part of the gift, right? Let me say that. Now, meanwhile, that same kid also said, I really want to get you these sneakers, Mom. I think you would really like them. So there's a good chance I'm going to be getting sneakers instead of a ring light, but that's okay.
There's a super cool light. I've seen a bunch of ads on Black Friday for the Elgato, some light that clips onto the back of your monitor, and it's not a ring light; it's a square light.
Okay.
It's more like a solid light, and you can set it. The Elgato lights are pretty sweet. You can change the the brightness settings pretty easily, and it was a nice light. So,
well, and that's the thing too. We have, I say ring light, but I was talking to one of the managers of one of our other offices. They have the lights more like photography studios, right? Those square lights. I should know the exact term for it. I can't remember right now. But even just getting opinions, like what lights do you like? What microphones? I bought the one that Chuck recommended, right? Like, I will happily take your recommendations if people are using things. I'm also a fan of, if you've got a brand, if you've got something that has an app related to it, stick with that suite, right? Like, you get to know how it works. So, for example, my little gimbal that you also recommended, Chuck, DJI. And so then when I wanted to get an exterior microphone, I went with the same brand, because it's like, okay. And frankly, we were just talking about how many accounts do you want to set up? I only have to have one DJI account that has both pieces of equipment on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you can work within one little family of products and family of things, right? Absolutely. Right. I thought, like, this morning I was trying to do a special sound effect. You know how much I know how much you would love that. That's like my gift to you for Christmas is new sound effects.
Thank you.
and I was thinking Christmas bells, right? And I'll have a Christmas bell. And I thought, well, wait a minute. A couple weeks ago, did I when I downloaded the hand claps and the laughter, was that do I already have an account with the sound effect thing that I forgot about?
Right?
Ugh, and I couldn't even remember. So
See?
I still don't know. So I couldn't get the Christmas bells because I didn't want to accidentally sign up for another one. And so maybe next show I'll have that figured out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, and as you think about, and please, if you have ideas, put them in our Facebook chat so that we can pay attention to
Right.
your ideas and what you are either asking for or great real estate gifts. That was another thing when Chuck and I were talking. It's like when you start in the business, you are watching your expenses, right? And you don't want to waste money on a tool
Mhm.
that may or may not work, right? And you may or may not get use out of. So, are there things that you say, "Oh, this was great. I wish I would have had it sooner,"
Mhm.
or "I'm sorry that I bought it." Like my 360 camera, which I say was one of my two COVID crazy
Let me
purchases.
see this. I can't wait to see this.
It is pretty cool. I mean, it's cool in that it's tiny, right? Like
Yeah.
this is the size of it. It's got the I don't know
Oh, does
there
it
the
rotate do the 360 or does it one shot and
no
does a 360?
yes, the second. You just hold it here steady and
Oh
it is
yeah.
taking a 360 picture.
Okay.
And then you can use it in theory for all kinds of things. So again, I bought this during COVID and
Yeah.
I'm sure my neighbors thought I was crazy because I was out in my backyard. I also bought, and I didn't bring it with me today, an invisible selfie stick. If you have it on this invisible stick,
Oh, uh-huh.
it takes the
Uh-huh.
world around, but the stick is not in there. If you're holding it at a distance with
You're
your
in it.
hand may be in there, but it was pretty cool. I took it with me
Okay.
on a trip to Puerto Vallarta, and
Mhm.
on the balcony of the resort, I did some 360 because, like anything, if you don't use it, you're not going to really know how it
Right.
works well. So, and then I had like you can take all kinds of training videos, and I had my niece and her best
Mhm.
friend. Like, I'm like, okay, hold this and jump in 5 different rooms so that you can blend those and make it look like you're jumping from room to room. So
Oh,
there is some cool stuff that you
okay.
can do with it. I just have not done enough with it.
So if you would like a 360 camera for Christmas, I think you need to send Lisa a message in the chat and maybe
I've got a used one available. Is that
she's
what you're
got
trying to say?
it sounds like it. You can't do everything. Listen, there's so much. Like that's one of the things I honestly, it's like a love-hate relationship with real estate sometimes. I love that about it, that it's so interdisciplinary and you have to know a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And just this morning I was reading my NISAR Realtor magazine. Lisa, did you read this yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay, well, there's a big article in there about dual agency, that because there was the big, that was the hot topic over the last 3 months. It came out, especially back on August 17th when we were all, the agency, the buyer's agency agreements and dual agency became a hot topic. And what our state rep Anthony Gatto said, we were all like, what? So anyway,
And then we
we
said,
we're like, yeah,
we're
which
good.
is perfect, which it goes to show exactly like how the uppity up smarty people how they interpret something like fit like philosophically, right? And then in
Right.
real life and practice we're like, yeah, no, that's crazy. Who would
Right.
we
Right.
would never do that. He's like,
Yes.
I can't imagine you would ever not do it this way. And we're like, yeah, I would never imagine doing it that way.
Right. Right.
And that's been so anyway, that's another show. We'll have that'll be like a February show or something. But back on Christmas. If so, I want to know what would you like to ask if you're watching? Comment. What could somebody get you that would really help you with Christmas? Um, for my hobbies, I have photography as a hobby, so a lot of my Christmassy stuff will be around that. Or I golf in the summer. I'm not in a bowling league anymore, but um, I had to get a new pair of bowling shoes a couple years back. So anyway, so that stuff makes it into my Christmas list.
Mhm.
Um, so, but real estate, I never really thought about putting something real estate related on my Christmas list. And I totally should have been thinking about that, because everybody, in our family, we do a gift exchange and, and they're always wondering like, hey, Chuck, what would, I'm like, I don't know. Especially now, I was looking at Christmas stuff this year, and I go, what the heck? If there's something I've wanted, I've pretty much gotten it by now. Like if I haven't gotten it by now, I don't really need it.
Yeah.
So, um,
I
yeah,
will also say, it's a nice time, to ask for some real estate swag, right? Like you're holding that great Stanley Howard Hanna
right.
cup, right? So
Hmm.
that's awesome. Maybe you are not a Stanley person. We also have a Yeti, right?
Right.
So you can get a Howard Hanna Yeti. You can go on, and you can even like anybody can go to the bop shop and place an
Right.
order. So you could say to your family, hey, for Hanukkah, I want a
That's
polo shirt.
Wait a
I
minute. Wait a
want
minute. Back it up. Back it up. What do you mean anybody can go to the bop shop and
any, you
it's a
don't have,
website?
yeah,
I mean, I know
you
it's a
don't have
website,
to
but
be,
anyone can go on the bop shop. I
yes,
I never conceived of that. So
yeah.
I could send
And
somebody a
so,
link to the bop shop.
and they can shop.
Oh my god! This this is hysterical. This is so. Imagine
They
that
can create an
story.
account even, Chuck.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So imagine this story. Like now I get like my family buys me this nice Howard Hanna branded sweater, and then 6 months later I'm telling them the story of how somebody started talking to me about Christmas, and guess what? They ended up buying a house, and I made a happy commission,
Right.
and I made a change in their life, and it was all because of that gift.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So
Well done. That's amazing insight.
if you're buying this advertising, right? It's
Yes.
here, we're thinking tax time, that's advertising. Buy this beautiful green coffee mug, Pantone color of the year.
Mm.
It is not. I've tried that with at least my tax professional says a green sweater is not
Oh,
a legitimate business expense. However, the black sweater with the Howard Hanna logo is.
okay.
At least
It's
according to my accountant, we're not here to give tax or legal advice.
no.
But that's another benefit of these types of things. Like if you are, maybe you're doing, I mean, some of us, on the Black Friday, we may have bought something for ourselves. And if it is a business
Mhm.
expense, keep that receipt, right? Like there are a lot of things, whether you
Mm.
need a new planner or a day
Mhm.
book or all kinds of supplies for your real estate business, keep those receipts. Just a
Okay.
little side end of the year tax notes.
Mm.
I also think, Chuck, you might want to say to people, I think about years ago, I got a gift of a Spotify subscription.
Oh, I
It's
remember
like,
you saying
okay,
this.
I'm
Yes.
I'm gifting you this subscription. I think it went for a while. But it was a nice way. And if I hated it, they would have canceled it, right? Most of the services we were talking about, maybe you want to try a new marketing service for yourself. And maybe you say to a family member, think about these like $25 gift exchanges, right? I, you know, I want you to pay for the first month trial. Like you said, you can try out keeping current matters for $25 for a month. Maybe it's ACE. Maybe you're going to do reminder media. There are so many companies that can help you with your social media,
Mhm.
and most of them will give you a free trial, a reduced for the first month. Use it, take advantage of it, and see what you think. And then if you want to continue, then that's a business decision, but try it out. Now, my advice, don't try them all at once, because then you're going to be overwhelmed. Your social media is just going to be overrun, and then it's going to, come to a screeching halt. Try one for a month. Give it your all. See if it really works. See if you like it. Do what they have available for posting. Does it feel authentic to you? Because if it doesn't, it's not going to work, right? Like we all know, anybody who knows me, if I suddenly started posting 1,000,001 recipes and cooking, you'd be like, okay, that's not her. She's paying for that service because, we just don't believe it. Now, if I had travel photos and, like you said, photography, then you'd be like, oh, that seems like her, right? Going out to dinner versus look at my 7-course meal I made at home. So make sure that the service you are selecting feels authentic to you. And then try another one for a month and see what you think. Nothing
Okay.
wrong with that.
No. Just don't forget to put the reminder down to to check up on it, because life gets busy, and And then if you have made a decision, you noticed you're not using it and you're not doing the thing that you said you were going to do, there's no
Mhm.
shame. It just wasn't the right time for you, right? Maybe um, you can come back and try that one again 6 months later. And but in the meantime, you don't want to continue paying for it for the 6 months, right? So put those little reminders in your phone to follow up on whatever that service is. Put the website, the address, if you need to put your login, your password, whatever it takes for you to be able to get back in and make that change setting. So I did that actually a couple days ago. I had signed up I was at Triple Play and I got one of those fancy cameras where you hit the button, the exposure, and it takes, oh, it's a 360 camera like you were talking about. Like you had. Same thing. I have one of those too. But the problem is like I can set up a virtual walkthrough a property on it with the little circles, and you click on the circle and it takes you to the
Right.
next room and all that stuff, right? Like I can do all that. The problem is, in order to do that, each of the tours has to be hosted on a site and I have to be a member. Like
Yeah.
so that like that frankly was twice as much as the camera, the hosting to the
Yes.
site for every single year. And I don't want to pay the $500 or $600 a year for the hosting. And I knew that Triple Play, I'm not going this year. It's coming up. It starts, I think, on Monday, next Monday. And so I'm like, God, I bet my subscription time is coming up. And so sure enough, I went on like yesterday and I go, I'm getting this done. Like I'm not getting off this until I have unsubscribed because I don't want to get charged another $500. And I did it. I got
Yay.
unsubscribed. Yay.
Well, and that's good. I mean, I'm gonna write that down, because I was shopping for something the other day and on Amazon, and it was like, "Do you want a free month of Prime?" Because I had canceled it. I didn't feel I needed it. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is a perfect month to get a free month." But like you said, if I don't cancel it at the end, then that's not what I want to do. I don't want that. So putting those reminders in your
Hmm.
phone, um, writing them down, putting them on your refrigerator, whatever works for your memory is important because you don't want to be stuck. And again, it gives you a chance to test it out, right? Like if you can
Hmm.
sign a month versus a year to figure out if you're using it, then and what's good for one person is not good for another, because I agree with you, Chuck. I had to do the same thing. And again, I was just practicing on my own house. Now, if I
Hmm.
agent and I'm carrying an inventory of 20 properties, I'm a heavy listing agent, you might say, "Yeah, it is well worth it," right?
Yeah.
So the same product is going to be more valuable to one agent or another. So try it out and see what you think. And competition is always growing. So again, I got my camera in 2020. You got yours last year. I'll bet the company that I had 4 years ago might be different than the one you had last year, and they might be
Mm.
evolving in pricing and availability. And then
Right.
also making sure that you have the time to learn how to use it, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's huge. I will
Okay.
tell you it's not real estate related, but the other crazy COVID purchase I made that I'm very happy with is one of those inversion things to hang upside down. Highly recommend that. It
Wow.
really helps with your neck and your back and your alignment, and it
Okay.
feels really good.
Hanging
So,
upside down.
hanging upside down.
Okay. All right. I've never done that.
It's cool. It's cool.
Okay. So your feet, how you strap yourself in, and then how do you turn yourself upside down?
It's like so you start off in like just a relaxed, and then you
Okay.
tip backwards. It
Uh-huh.
has a little tether. So when you first
Uh-huh.
start, they tell you don't go completely upside down and then just gradually work up to it.
Oh.
And then there's like a little handle, and you just kind of well, people who know about
Yeah.
physiology and all that,
Oh
you
yeah.
bend your knees, you grab the handle, and then it just helps you pivot back straight up. I have
Hmm.
my little I can't say the G word too loudly because my Android tablet will listen, but I tell my machine to set a timer for 3 minutes. I hang upside down for 3 minutes after I
Three
exercise.
minutes.
It's great. Yeah, you
Three
don't have to do it
minutes.
forever. 3
That's
minutes.
all. That kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of real estate. Like what can let you know what? Every day you can get something done in 3 minutes that
Yeah.
helps your business. It doesn't, you
Yes.
don't have to spend 3 hours.
Right.
Three
Right.
hours. Oh my God. Like 30
Yes.
minutes, maybe. That's the most, right? That's what I love about our stuff. You can just get on and get one little thing done every day. And that's how
Yes.
you eat an elephant, right? 3 minutes at a time, one little bite.
Right. All right, we're getting some comments online. But we're
Awesome.
not getting more gift ideas. But that's interesting to know. The person who says they also like hanging upside down works in my office. I see her almost every day, and that was something we've never shared before. So
Look at
that's
that.
kind of
Awesome.
cool. So, and
Okay.
thank you, Gina.
All right.
So let's see, what else can we talk about? Real estate tools, um, you know, upgrading. Maybe this is the time, to upgrade if you do your own photos, right? And sometimes, well, many realtors use a hire professional photographer, right? With our new
Mhm.
Zillow Showcase partnership, you can get your professional photos for $99 for your listing. That is huge, right? Like that's
Mhm.
awesome. That said, even when you're hiring a professional photographer, I was, Chuck and I, we both talk about helping out with Fast Start. I've been doing a Fast Start on Zoom, and one of our brand new agents was talking about doing a video walkthrough when they're holding open houses, right? So they were holding an open house for
Yes.
another agent.
Excellent. Love it.
They're doing a video walkthrough. So again, even though you're using a professional photographer, you might say, "Now's the time. I'm going to upgrade my phone,
Mhm.
Android, iPhone, Pixel, whatever phone you have, you might want to upgrade it, right? And then you're going to get potentially your little gimbal to walk around and have a steadier
Yeah.
um
Now, is that the
camera.
Osmo? Is that the Mobile 6 with the extension arm built into it?
It's like this. Is that
Yeah. But
I don't
no,
know.
it's how long have you had that?
A year maybe, 8
It might, I mean,
months.
the 6 has been out for a while. There's a I think there's another
But
I-
this thing unscrews. I can put
that
this on a tripod or I
but
could do
what about between the handle and the turner pivot? No, that doesn't extend
no.
well, I can tell. Cuz I just got one. I don't know where it is right now. I think it's in the car, but it has like it basically like extends like a selfie stick does. Um
Oh.
and the mobile same company, um they've it's on sale for 89 bucks. Mhm.
Well, that's the thing, and I can't beat myself up. I think I paid 129.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's good.
you just have to know technology is going to improve and get less expensive.
Everything gets less expensive except for one thing, housing. So yeah,
Um,
that's it's new construction, forget it. It's
my oh, yeah, yeah.
won't won't.
My, microphone set that you also recommended,
Oh yeah,
uh,
I got that.
the price came down, and then you told me there was a new feature, so I can't beat myself up about that
No, well,
either.
listen, I have that one too. I paid the full price for that, and they come out with a smaller one now, the mini. The mini, it's the whole thing that fits on your shirt is smaller. Everything is smaller. I don't, but
Yeah.
in my head, I'm telling myself, you know what? It's not as good. So that's why it's half the price. It's not as good. It's half as
Yep.
good. So I want the
I
one I
was
have.
just happy that the improvement between, I think, yours and mine is, that there's a magnet and you don't just
Oh
have to
yeah,
clip it on.
mine
So
has just a
sometimes
clip.
the clipping it on, like, it's gonna pull your jacket
Sure.
down, it's not gonna look good, it's gonna be too
Yeah.
close to your earrings,
Yeah.
and, so the magnet option is was good for me. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing. You just can't cars, everything. Like, there's always a newer model. You just have to say, "Yeah, but I have this," and it works,
Yeah.
right?
When this show talking about gifting, it always makes me whenever I think so, you know how you have like a moment sometimes in your life that like you just remember forever, and it's kind of this person's not like this person moved on. I mean, we're in school, we're kids, we grow up, and people go their way. But we got this assignment. I remember I'll never forget being in 8th grade, and we all had to write a little composition. You know how we had to do that, write
Mhm.
compositions. So the composition, you probably loved your little composition assignments.
I'm not
No,
a good writer.
you're not a good writer. Okay. Well, we wrote, well, we, we had this little composition assignment, and the topic was, is it better to give or receive? And of course, we're all like, well, of course it's better to give, right? Like, so we're all writing why it's so great to give. And we were, there's maybe say there's 20 people in the class. We all read our compositions. And then we have one student who who wrote, it's better to receive than to give. And by the end of her composition, I was 100% convinced that it is better to receive than to give. And it's so funny because she was so like honestly, she's super smart, right? I don't know what the hell she's doing now, but it's probably something amazing. We had a bunch of really amazing kids in my class. And her father was the superintendent of our school district, and they and she was really cool. And she wrote, of course, AYY. And I was like, oh my God, every point that she mentioned, we're all, you could see us in our seats, all like shaking our heads, like, yeah, that is bad. Why? What were we thinking? So anyway, so that's why. So don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed to ask for something. It is great to receive a nice gift like that, and you're giving someone else a chance to, have that impact in your business and do something nice for you, and that's awesome. And guess what? You'll have a chance to do something nice for them by giving them
Yes.
something nice, and they will love it.
I
Whether
agree.
it's a throw blanket or a coffee cup or a sweatshirt or some nice or a Spotify subscription. Spotify is, it's so funny how things change. I mean, I was watching a guy do like a top 10 1986 top 10 songs. And now they talk about like how great, like how popular those songs are by how many streams they've had. This song
Right.
over its career has had 100 million streams. That it's the
Yeah.
new way to measure. It's
Because we
unbelievable.
can't track record sales anymore,
No,
really, to
no.
capture the entire market. Yes, there are, the resurgence in, having a real record player and
Hmm.
real records to play on it, but it's
Yeah.
not the norm, you know?
So we did our Christmas tradition. The first Christmas movie we watch every year is my favorite, and it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for anyone. And the whole movie is so great, right? And it builds up, and then at the very end, John Hughes freezes the camera on John Candy's face, and he's smiling, and it's the whole, like, it's just such a great movie. And but I tell you what, I was a little annoyed that I had to put the little disc into the player to watch it. I was like, can't I just go to my thing and make it play with my remote, like through, don't I
Isn't
have
it
this
fun?
digitally saved somewhere and I can just go to my library and play this?
Yes.
So, but no, so we had to put it in. So I had, yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
did
That's
it
pretty
again.
cool. All
And I
right.
laughed. And we noticed things in the movie this time that we never noticed before, which is crazy all the time we've seen it.
Right. You always
So
will,
yeah. I said, honey,
the,
look, he's got two mice crawling around on his knees. It was weird.
don't remember that.
So anyway, well, put your idea in the chat if there's like a super cool, a service thing that would help you with your business. Write it in there, because it's probably, if I saw it and I said, "Gosh, you know what? That is awesome." You're giving me a gift of just pointing it out
Right. Right.
and
Because
sharing.
the
Sharing is
things
caring.
Right, the things that you and I need as office managers versus a brand new agent versus a seasoned agent, they're all a little bit different, right? And
Right?
it's, and it's the holidays, your birthday, it's time those are times when you can ask for a little bit more, right? Like you might say, "Well, I need a new pen." But it's the holidays. And you know what? I want a fancy pen for when I'm
Ooh.
sitting there, at a listing presentation and I'm pointing things out. I want a fancier pen. And I know, Chuck, you got a fancy pen
Uh,
recently.
yeah, they're in the car. My signing pens. And
Yeah.
I brought those out, and my clients go, "Ooh, these are nice."
Right.
They really felt special while they were signing their offer with the signing pens. It
Yes.
it was
Yeah. And,
awesome.
maybe I can remember this woman that I know. She's retired now, but she was in, uh, corporate America, grant writing,
Mhm,
all these different things. And she said she was at a meeting one time, a presentation, and the person was pointing to things in the paper,
mhm,
and the woman had a beautiful manicure. And my
mhm,
friend, that was never something that was important to her. And she's like, I loved the way she looked so professional. And to
mhm,
this day now, I mean, my friend is, probably in her early 80s, and she still gets a manicure because she said it makes me feel professional. It makes
mhm,
and as realtors, we are I mean, I think about that when, when I'm
mhm,
pointing at an agreement, I'm pointing at listing things. It's like you want, your hands to look professional. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
mhm.
But, I so maybe
No,
it
it's
is,
good. It's
I
perfect.
want a gift certificate for a nail salon, right? Like, you
Right?
know,
And that's another great way to support local. So I love that. You can go to your
yeah.
local place and definitely support local. So
Yeah,
awesome. I
maybe
love
it's
it.
a service. Maybe it's a massage, right? Like,
Ooh.
maybe it is I have been showing houses all day. I'm tired. I'm in and out of the car. I did an open house. I want a massage, right?
Nice. All
So
right.
yeah,
Massage.
not necessarily real estate related, but definitely
It's going
self-care.
on my Christmas list. Massage. All right. Thanks, Lisa. Merry
Yep.
Christmas. It's a month of Christmas. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff this month in our shows. Join us, share with friends, invite people to watch, and go get that massage. All right.
And a
Cheers,
manicure.
Cheers, everybody.